The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
Yeah, Harry, everybody is through the roof excited as the Philadelphia Phillies begin the series up in Boston at Fenway with a victory despite, and I use that term in big, bold, capital italics.
Capital italics?
Yeah.
Right.
It's a new thing now. People use that to emphasize on text. You can do that. Aaron Nola being pulled early. Still, despite all of that, the Philadelphia Phillies get one. And, yes, I don't even know at this point, answering the question that we threw out yesterday and continue to kind of get closer to preseason, which will be some sort of football action, and regular season stuff is right around the corner, but still it feels like it's taking forever to round that corner. There is nothing new, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, look around the NFL. Let's look, and I want to do this not right this second because I know we have to react, of course. That's what we do with the prisoner of the moment and Gabe Kapler, getting everybody fired up, of course, about Aaron and the 3 pitches that he was able to deliver. I understand all of that, but I want you to think about this as well. Let's look at the top 4 teams that over the last, and we'll use a good sample size. Let's take the last 8 years in the NFL. And just say that's enough. That's 8 years of football, right? Where you can see some coaching changes, you can see some regime changes, you can see a quarterback change or two. Like, that's a good sample size where if you're consistent through 8 years, that's also saying a lot as well. Might be because of the player, might be because of the organization. But
yeah.
I'm curious to see if we took the top 4 teams over the last, 6 to 8 years and see how much off-season buzz, interaction, drama there is on a year and a year in basis.
I would tend to say that there's less drama with those top consistent teams over a 6 or 8 year period.
I agree.
Because you have a franchise quarterback, you've got a coach that is in place and secure, and you've got a general manager who is in lockstep with the coach. That's typically what you need. And an ownership that's supportive of all of it.
Correct.
And just sort of gets out of the way and doesn't meddle and try to act like he knows more football than they do and all that kind of thing. Those are pretty much the bullet points that I would say have to exist for all of those teams.
Think about this, Harry, to your point that you laid out about the bullet points that exist and then what's off that list. Chip Kelly was here his first year. He was told as innovative and sold as that to us, yet still in the offseason, he took over the franchise. Like, there was crazy drama.
Yeah, releasing players, trading players.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even making the playoffs, you would think that would be a mark right there of stability, but still, you had to deal with the opposite. And it's crazy to think that there are people that are not, and I'm not saying this was you or me or anybody that, was on the show yesterday, but I think that there is a legit amount of people out there that feel weird and almost like there's this void that should be full, and it's not. It's empty because of the lack of drama or craziness that we've seen year in and year out. And some of that, to be fair, has been fueled by us. If they don't win it this year, then I'm going to jump off a cliff. And if they don't win it this year, then they got to fire everybody. Bro, they just drafted everybody. No, they got to fire everybody. They can't win a Super Bowl. I'm 68 years old.
I'm never going to see one.
Right.
Yeah.
Fire everybody until they win it. Hey, that's all I'm saying. Like, I know we've got a busy second hour, so maybe we can start around that, depending on how much we can exhaust out of this Phillies thing. But I'm sure, like Bob from Crossing Broad is going to join us at 1. We'll cross the streams of Tony Bruno at 1:30, pardon me. But I'm sure you've got your notebook full of stuff from last night's game with Gabe Kapler and the Boston Red Sox and Kapler, Mr. Autumn Wind, out there spinning it like John Gruden. I'll tell you what.
No.
Only thing that's missing from Kapler is, and I tell you what.
Oh, well, I tell you what. I watched Hard Knocks this morning.
No, I did not.
And that's my only source of drama during the month of August when it comes to football. Because thankfully we don't have that kind of stuff with our football team. And that's what you're speaking of. There's stability. And I think that's really what you're trying to say there. With stability, there is little drama. and that leads to not a lot of conversation. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Like the biggest thing now is maybe Jason Peters might play on Thursday night. He was kind of intimating and hinting around that he's looking forward to playing in the preseason game a little bit. Well, if he plays, does Carson play? Like, this is the only kind of drama we have, or questions that we have.
You're right. No, I agree, and I think that's the biggest thing that we need to get used to, is that there really isn't, to your point about stability and just the recent success that this team has had, there really isn't any demand or need. I mean, outside of somebody getting in trouble, which, God forbid, because you don't want to see that.
That could happen, though.
It could, absolutely. Yeah. And the injury thing is, again, like anybody at any point can get hurt.
Totally.
And we've seen this, and to be honest with you, this Eagles team and other teams in years past have gotten around injuries.
Yeah,
the Eagles got around the biggest injury.
Think about the injuries they had when they won the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. It wasn't just Carson Wentz.
It was a who's who.
Right? Yes, you're completely right, and I think that's something that is different here. All right, let's get into this because I know you won't be able to move on. You're already squirming.
What are you talking about?
Well, this whole thing about Gabe Kapler. And
I have nothing for Gabe Kapler. What are you talking about?
You don't want to hit into this game and then the fact that they won.
Well, I mean,
the Red Sox.
Yeah, they
jumped
out
Nola.
in front. They jumped out in front. They pulled Nola at the right time. He was a little over 100 pitches. He's the only arm that you can rely on this team. So I think pulling him after 7 great innings was fine.
Okay,
I had no issue with that. But they had to have gotten that game last night because I don't think they're going to get the game today because Smiley's on the mound. And you know what his numbers are over his last 3 starts?
Have they dipped that much since his first one?
Oh, my God. He's allowed 16 runs in 15 2/3 innings.
Oh, my God.
A run an inning.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
That against this team who hits the ball. No, but I'm saying.
Right.
Now against this, what's the run line?
It's the over/under's 12.
Oh, I take that.
The over/under's 12. Last I looked.
I think that's a
the Red
smart
Sox are
bet
minus
on Parks.
170.
Yeah, I like it.
And the wind's blowing out, so this could get ugly tonight. So who knows? But what's that?
The autumn wind.
Oh, the autumn wind. Yeah. Right.
At this point,
yes. That's a good one, Josh.
Oh, my God. That was the line of the year delivered by Josh Henning.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, the autumn wind will be blowing out to whatever direction the green monster is. So who's going to be the first Red Sox to take Smiley over the green monster tonight?
I don't.
I mean, why not? Let's just take a
J.D.
poll.
Martinez.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Like, we don't need Parks, who does a fantastic job of creating their own odds, just because we won't be able to get a turnaround in time. But if we had something like this, then we could give it to him. But think about this. Just get the lineup, right? Get who bat last night. I don't know how many changes you'll have, but there's a projected lineup already. It's probably not out yet. But who do you think is going to be the first candidate? Martinez?
Let's go with J.D. Martinez.
Okay.
I mean, he can hit a ball out of any yard against anybody.
They got a couple of guys that can do that.
They really can.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's what inning. This is like a roulette table. You can bet inning and player and just nail it.
But I will tell you, and this was Corey Seidman had this today, that although Smiley's numbers in his last 3 are horrendous, the Sox lineup that is available today against him is only hitting 14 of 66, so a batting average of 212 against Smiley.
Against Smiley or just in general?
No, against Smiley.
All right, well, we'll see.
So what do you think? Mookie Betts starts off the game with a blast?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's the immovable object versus what's the other?
Xander Bogaerts. What are you saying?
Remember
the irresistible force.
Yeah, versus the immovable object, yes. Right. So it's Smiley's awfulness versus the batting order's awfulness, the lineup's awfulness. Which one will budge first? Yeah. Which awfulness will stand out first? I don't know, man.
I mean, they jumped ahead last night and hung on. The one thing, if you're looking for positives, obviously Nola's performance. Segura had a great game, both at the plate and, in some good fielding in the 9th inning. To help Neris out of a little bit of a jam. But they grinded out a game against a good opponent on the road, and they didn't hit a home run to do it.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Because normally that's not their M.O.
Right.
And to that point, and this is the problem with baseball, you play a 16-week schedule, you can make a statement like this. Baseball, you can't. that transfers over there's nothing that would transfer over like that because they've already given you way too much of a resume that shows you that they're too inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
And that they unfortunately can't win games consistently the way in which they did last night.
Yeah.
So they're going to go back to making or breaking, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of working counts, and for home runs or nothing.
Right.
And it's going to be frustrating because there never is rarely any grinding, but there's never any small. And I know a lot of teams aren't doing that so much.
No, that's kind of passé now.
But even still, that's the difference of the style that you allude to is what you'll never get now moving forward.
I mean, Porcello's got an ERA of of like 5.5. So I mean, maybe this is a day that both offenses, go nuts.
I don't know. Porcello, it's really at this point who's going to crack first. All right, which pitcher cracks first in what inning? I'll say over under fifth inning, fifth and 2/3 innings.
5 2/3.
Yeah.
My God, if they could get 5 2/3 out of Smiley.
All right.
I mean,
over under is 5 innings.
Buying that.
Here's the thing. Over under is 5 innings, meaning which pitcher will crack? I'll take the under, meaning one of the two pitchers will crack
before 5 innings.
Correct.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay, I think so as well. I think that's probably like minus 1,000 with these two guys. It's pretty much like, go ahead and bet it. You're going to win it. You just have to put a lot of money on it.
But see, the Mets won again last night. They beat the Indians.
Correct.
And, nothing really changed in the wild card. You're still 2 games back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So. That's a big problem that you'll still have to face whatever's happening with Washington as well as the Braves in front of you. That's out.
But it would be so Phillies, and I know we mentioned this yesterday, for them to find a way to sweep this 2-game series and then go down to Miami with all this, a little bit of momentum, right, and lose 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. That would be this year's Phillies.
It's coming. Don't you think it's
like
coming?
They lost that series to the White Sox,
right?
When they had a little momentum, they had a little
Padres,
steam. Yeah,
when they had won 4 in a row,
and they beat the Padres' best pitcher on Friday night.
Correct.
Put 8 runs on the board, and beat the best pitcher, and then they lose to 2, average to below average guys on the weekend.
I thought you were going to say donkeys.
No,
you usually go with that.
I don't want to overuse donkey.
No,
I like that term.
Yeah, but I feel like it's your term. I don't hear anybody else use it. Do you?
Well, a guy that I used to work with used to use it all the time with me. I had to yell at him, "Stop overusing donkey."
Wait a second. Have I, let's do 20 questions on this. 609-403-0973. Not for you. I'm opening up the text board for everybody else. I'm just trying to figure out if I know this host.
Of course.
Have I worked with this host? Like hosted shows with this host?
Yes.
Oh, Jason.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. He says, yes, he stole it from you.
Yeah.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah. What other stuff are they stealing? They got a what would Jason do?
I don't know, but I mean, there was a rumor going around a while ago. I haven't heard much of it lately, that you were going to be making an appearance at the big festival this Saturday.
Correct.
And you
Is that this Saturday?
It's this Saturday.
Oh, Saturday.
You're going to be.
Colonel going to be there?
You're going to be in disguise, and
Absolutely.
people have to find you.
Correct. That is the truth.
Yes.
Now, it's like a Where's Waldo.
Right.
And if Mike Missinelli, right, can identify me on stage, then I've got a $500 Visa gift card.
Oh, you do?
I do.
For the person that identifies you.
Correct. Correct. Who dimes me out correctly, right? How about that?
That's great.
$500 Visa.
Find Shander.
I'll be in a disguise. You won't even know me.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not going to wear one of those Bobby Valentine Groucho Marx masks.
Like the nose and the eyeglasses and the mustache?
No.
The eyebrows or
not
whatever?
at all.
No?
I've got an insider right now who can get me that type of makeup. Remember that movie White Chicks that the Wayans brothers did?
Yes.
Yeah, I can get that level of.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's good, and I'll have a hat on, right? It won't look like a putty face.
Right.
By no means.
Some sort of facial hair
Maybe.
outside of your normal?
No, because that's the thing. Like, I don't want to give it away, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away by any means.
Well, that's Saturday, but we got the big thing coming up tomorrow
Thursday night is gigantic.
Yeah, 5 o'clock, Great American Pub, Fayette Street in Conshohocken on the rooftop. You, me, and Bruno for a little 2-hour Eagles discussion. We're going to get set for the season because really essentially training camp is over.
Correct.
Okay, and
zero going on
right around the corner is the season, and we'll be previewing it for you at the Great American Pub at starting at 5. But the big thing is somebody that's there on site will walk away with this package of tickets. Eagles tickets at home against every division opponent. Giants, Skins, Cowboys. But that's not enough.
No?
Every division opponent also on the road in 2019. So you get 6 division games. Pair of tickets to each game. But you got to be there.
That is insane.
Yes.
You have to be, and that's what we keep telling people is you have to be there. This is not something you can win on Twitter. This is not something that you can win texting in.
Right.
You have to be there, show up, hear your name called. Trust me, we'll have a lot of things going on for you. It'll be Harry, Tony, myself. The 3 of us will keep you entertained. If not, the Great American Pub. Chef Mike has an amazing menu. I always tell people this about the menu at Great American Pub. It's very rare at a lot of the cooking shows where they go and fix restaurants up. Now, clearly, this is not the case there, but where they go fix restaurants up.
What's that one called?
Restaurant Impossible or like the Hell's Kitchen.
There's one
not Hell's Kitchen. There's a bunch.
Restaurant Rescue or something?
There's a bunch,
yeah,
right.
Okay.
And a lot of times what you have, right, is like
Bar Rescue.
Bar
is
Rescue.
the thing I'm
yeah,
thinking
there's a little more actors in that than not.
Yeah.
But a lot of times what you have is like, 4 people running a restaurant and the menu's like 10 pages long.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's frozen stuff. There's stuff that's just not fresh. There's no way they can keep up, right? The amazing thing about the Great American, and I've been there so much. You and I go there a bunch. I've eaten there so much, especially because I used to be, now that I don't live there anymore, but I used to be able to take the dog and eat outside with, the dog, the
right
fiance.
on the sidewalk.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I've tried pretty much damn near everything there. And I can tell you that this is one of the few places you'll find in the Delaware Valley that actually has a wide range menu where everything is fresh and everything is prepared in an amazing fashion, like good portion size, and you can tell the ingredients, like there's care from Chef Mike. And it's awesome because you know that you can go there a couple of different times and eat completely different meals. So whatever it is, you go there to eat, you go to the drink, we got you covered. Pretty safe to say, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Now, you didn't watch Hard Knocks, apparently. Huh?
I did not.
Okay. I thought the episode was average.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not here to gloat. I'm here to question.
Well,
what happened?
It started off.
What happened?
It started off where they're in the meeting room, right? And Derek Carr has to, gets up in front of his teammates and the coaching staff, and it's his turn to sort of call up the next rookie to do something like sing a song or whatever.
Okay.
Like, that's their version of hazing. So he gets up and he calls Coach Gruden. Now, Coach Gruden's not a rookie,
no,
but he's back in the NFL, and John Gruden's like, I'm not singing. And then he goes like, Coach Gruden. In walks Caliendo. And I thought of you immediately, how outraged you would have been at the cliche that is Frank Caliendo doing John Gruden in front of the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, my goodness. Now, before we go any further, you've tracked audio of this.
Yeah, we've got audio of this.
All right, now, I haven't heard this. I don't know how many other people have heard this. Harry has, and that is so funny.
I immediately thought of you. Man, Shander would be just screaming about this.
Unbelievable. All right, let's hear it.
Glenn on. Love you, man. John Gruden, University of Dayton. I do this for free. Knock on wood if you're with me.
That's what Gruden always says, in the meeting.
Yeah.
Knock on wood if you're with me, and then the players knock on the little tables and
right.
stuff.
It's, again, you talk about, cliche and it's just over the top.
But
so I
his
tell you what,
facial expressions are better than the actual verbiage. His mannerisms, he's got them down.
I forget who was in there with me. God, was it Mosher? I have it still, but I forget who was in there with me. I was randomly filling in on a morning show. Well, not filling in, but technically when, the main guy was out, I would do the show. And Caliendo was in.
Mm-hmm.
and he was in studio with us. And damn it, I forget who else was in there with us, but it wasn't anybody else on the morning show. It was somebody else who filled in.
I've had him in studio too.
Right. And I'll tell you, that's my favorite. That's the day that we had him read an update in like 6 different voices, and he was going from like Obama
Stephen
to Trump.
A.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. But that's the thing is, his Gruden, I like his Gruden better than the real Gruden. Because at least the parody Gruden understands that even the real Gruden is a caricature.
Right.
Like, I don't think – okay, I'll give you a perfect example.
John was laughing his ass off.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he was.
Listen,
I'm sure he was. But this is like – there was a time in which, like, rap music, like gangster rap music, like West Coast rap music, morphed the rapper from the real person. Like, Ice Cube became Ice Cube the rapper, no longer a guy who rapped that was just called Ice Cube when he rapped. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was this, and then you see it now, like, nobody's known as their real, nobody knows Sean Carter, it's Jay-Z, and like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that just became your name. But there was a time in which those personalities kind of morphed. John Gruden is, like, not at that point in which the personalities have morphed, but he in his mind is like 5 years down the road, and he still doesn't realize that he's just a caricature of himself. It's crazy.
He's almost like a character on a sitcom
that
involves football right now. Like, you don't know if he's playing up during this stuff because he knows it's going to be on Hard Knocks, or if that's. I kind of think that that's the way he really is.
I think so too. Which is crazy because don't you know, like, there are people that are always on. And I don't mean me like, you know, hey, you know, I mean like as far as he's on in like never a personal moment. You know, he's always like waiting to get to the next cliche, to get
knock
to the
on
next
wood if you're with me.
conversation, right? Yeah, to get to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always working a room, even if it's just you.
Yeah, right.
You know, like, I'll tell you what, man. You know, you better show up to your job. Man. That's the only way you climb that ladder.
I'm in
man.
the
You know? You better put some gloves on that ladder because it's slippery climbing up, man.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Right? Yeah. And then he's already looking on, like checking his phone, and, you know, I got to take this call, man.
And then they did a preseason game against the Cardinals, which they won. And he is so into every possession. Like,
which, again, come on.
They scored a touchdown, and they're acting like it's a playoff game.
I know.
The players are celebrating in the end zone after one guy sacks Kyler Murray in the end zone for a safety. They all run all over. You would have thought they won a playoff game.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, come on. What are we doing here? You know, seriously, what are we doing here?
You know?
I'm just
that
trying.
That Peterman, man, you know.
That Nathan Peterman. I tell you what, man, you know that Nathan Peterman, man. That guy can throw a football, man.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Gruden. We've got the Phillies. If anybody wants to react to another Gabe Kapler night and moment in which it was good with some questionable moments in there, you can never get – it's like carrot cake. You know, you get the frosting, you get the cream cheese frosting or whatever the hell that frosting is up top, and then you bite into it and you realize what the hell is going on.
I like carrot cake.